The run club boom has truly taken over the US in recent years, and there's something special brewing in the streets of one city that you may not expect. Welcome to Charm City, Baltimore, Maryland. Hello everyone and welcome to BMore on the Go, presented by Believe in the Run and Believe Run Club, a show where Baltimore's charm will be put on display by those who are actively bringing the community together through the sport of running. My name is Nick Miguelino and I'm excited to be your host. Together with the help of my conversations with Baltimore's run club leaders, influencers, professional athletes, and many more, this podcast will change the way you think about Baltimore while providing you a resource to join in on all that this city's running culture has to offer. Each episode will have an impelling story from those who are passionate about this city and its people, so make sure to never miss a story by catching all our episodes every Wednesday on your favorite streaming platform. In this first episode, I want to share with you the story of how I found Baltimore to be my home and how Baltimore's run club culture has made me admire this city that I once told myself I'd never live in. I'll also give you some insight on what my hopes for this podcast are moving forward and how I hope to change your mind on what you may think about this city as well. Now, without further ado, let's start with our first story, the story of, me. My name is Nick Miguelino. I'm originally from Ellicott City, Maryland, and I've lived in Baltimore since 2023. My background as a runner is definitely not the norm when it comes to those I've met in run clubs here in the city, since I've been running for much longer. I've been running since my sophomore year of high school in 2012. At the end of my freshman year of high school, I was going to try out for cross country just because my high school's team didn't cut anyone at the time. Little did I know that one decision was going to shape the rest of my life after that. I became addicted in my very first season of running, and it very quickly took over my plans to try out for basketball in the winter. Instead, I ended up running 3 years of cross-country indoor and outdoor track before leaving high school, and then I ran competitively in all 4 years of college as well. I was first introduced to Baltimore's running culture in 2021. I had been out of college for almost 2 years at that point. I ran the half marathon at that year's Baltimore Running Festival. And I'd also heard of Believe Run Club that year through a friend. They had posted pictures on social media that were taken during the club runs, and I thought they were really cool, but just never ended up going. But in 2022, I did that same race again and then decided to put myself kind of out of my comfort zone and go to run club for the first time. I'm not normally one to put myself out there in a public space, but I'd been running alone for so long since graduating school. I was just excited to meet new people. And I was so warmly welcomed by the other runners that I knew I had to keep going back. The club is now pretty much where I've met all of my Baltimore friends that I currently have today, and it was the big reason I decided to move here at the beginning of 2023. Flash forward to today, and I'm now a full-time student here in Baltimore, just trying to soak up as much of the city life as I can. I think being in Baltimore has definitely broadened my horizons when it comes to the different ways that people can enjoy running. So much of the time that I've spent in this sport has been filled with pressure and expectations from coaches, or just in my own head, or comparing myself to other similar competitive runners to myself. But to meet people that have just started running during the pandemic, for example, and are just doing it for the social aspect or to make friends or to train for their first race, it's been really refreshing. It's reminded me of when I first fell in love with running, and it's exciting to see the sport that I love do the same for others that I've met. Now, to wrap things up, I want to summarize what Baltimore has done for me and what I believe this city and this podcast can do for you too. There's a surface level negative stigma that comes with Baltimore, and my primary goal with this podcast is to help change that. Baltimore has done its job to change my mind. Before I ever came to Baltimore, I wholeheartedly believed the stigma, but the more I saw people excited about the city, whether it was something like their dinner plans, checking out a new event to go to, or even just exploring a new place to run, I very quickly learned that Baltimore had so much more to offer that I never would have considered if I didn't give it the chance that it deserves. The people that live here genuinely do love it here, and I can say I'm now one of those people too. I think Baltimore's run club culture brings so much positivity to the city, and I'm super excited to put this on display. There's a lot of local Baltimore legends in this running community that deserve to have their impact shared. There's also international professional track athletes right in Baltimore that have all sorts of stories as to how they call this city home, and I'm super excited for the new things we'll learn together and the people you'll meet in this podcast. With all this being said, that just about wraps up today's episode. Make sure to tune in next time as we start digging into our first guest story. We'll meet Believe Run Club's own media coordinator, Carl Fernandez. We'll get his insight on his first year in Baltimore after moving from New Jersey, along with his ties to popular running brands like Hoka, Nike, and Asics that he's been able to bring right here to Baltimore for others to enjoy. Thank you all once again for joining me today. This has been BMore on the Go. My name is Nick, and I'll see you next time.